Strange old situation, wasn't it, for England to go into a game last night knowing they were through whatever the result. Many fans were relaxed about the defeat because it could give them a slightly easier time later on in the tournament if they win on Tuesday. But a loss is a loss, so what did it do to the players both on and off the pitch? Kevin George is a former player turned football psychologist. He's written a book, Soccology, about the importance of mental health in football. He joins me now. Look, Kevin, fans will not agree, England fans, about whether last night's loss was good or bad for the future chances in the tournament. But from a player's perspective, what does that loss mean to them when they were winning and winning so well so far?
I don't think it would have done a lot, if I'm being honest. I think for the team, that game was important in itself because it's a squad game. So if you were someone who hasn't played in the World Cup, now you've played. If you get called upon in the semi-final, you're thinking, great, I've already played. I know what the pressure's like. I know what to expect. If Gareth Southgate never played them in that game, you get called in the semi-final, nerves could kick in, pressure, and it could explode.
We have got one of the youngest squads we've ever had, and last night was one of the most inexperienced teams for the reasons that Gareth Southgate has quoted. What would it be like at that tender age, surrounded by people without experience as well, to play on such a stage?
I think there would have been pressure. I think there's pressure regardless, even if you're at your club. I think with those players, because they're young, I think sometimes they don't even realise what is actually going on and what's at stake. Whereas sometimes the more senior players could feel the pressure more than the younger players. So that's why I feel that it's helped England so far and why they've done so well. They're a bit carefree. We
saw Harry Kane at one point standing up, doing a bit of jogging. It felt like he might come on. Obviously, there's a risk of him getting injured if he did. What do you think would have been going through his mind? He is the captain. He's led this squad so well. And he didn't get on last night. And he didn't get on even when we lost a goal.
I don't think he would always want to play. I don't think he would have been frustrated because at the same time he would have been aware of potentially getting injured, but also fatigue. So all the players will be well aware of the plan going forward, so they would have been happy for it. But as a player, naturally, you always want to play. And if you're Harry Kane, you're thinking about Golden Boot as well. He wants to be the champion of that World Cup, top goal scorer. So that would have been on his mind.
And in terms of going into the tournament, our expectations, because of Gareth Southgate quite clearly saying that, were quite low. That changed. It changed with the first game. It changed with that incredible, historic 6-1 win against Panama. What would it do to this team of players who we want to go on to do really well in future competitions if they go out on Tuesday night to Colombia, if they don't make it through to the teams that we want to face to get to the final?
It depends on how they manage that. So it depends on how the press react, but also how Gareth Southgate, as the leader, how does he manage that scenario? How does he manage it? How does he deal with it? Because the players will now look to him, and that will determine where they move forward. For example, if he sticks with the same squad, or will some get dropped? Now, will they own that and say, oh, well, was it because of me? But then if he calls back on them, that could then affect their performances later on for England because they will realise, I'm vulnerable here. So it's how the leader actually manages those situations.
We've got just a few days to wait. Kevin George, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you. Well, there wasn't a lot to remember about last night's game, but there was one moment that has been replayed again and again online. This is the Chelsea striker, Michy Batshuayi, giving himself a headache as he celebrated Belgium's goal last night. At least he saw the funny side. He later posted on Twitter, "Why am I so stupid? Ouch." It has been a fantastic week weather-wise in the capital, but just how warm will it be this weekend? Amanda Houston can tell us.